Hey, what's up, Blues fans? How we all doing? I hope everyone's well and good. Finally got our first signing underway. I tell you what, man, it was good. It was good just to get the first one. Do you know what I mean? So then, we can open the floodgates and hopefully we'll start getting them a bit more regularly. I know we was all getting a bit. I was certainly getting nervous. I thought, you know the meme. I don't usually get shaky, but I'm starting to get a bit nervous. That's me being from London. Ryan ASLOPP. And I'm not going to lie, okay, let's just set the premise out there. When it comes to signing a goalkeeper, none of us know what we want, other than the fact we'd like him to be good with his feet. But then again, we'd also like him to be a great shot stopper. Everyone wants a top keeper, and realistically, we actually don't know what we want when it comes to a goalkeeper. We've got preferences. If you say you want a goalkeeper that has everything, then you're talking about Alisson, or Courtois, or a top level goalkeeper. So when it comes to signing a goalkeeper, I really had kind of no preference. I kind of just thought, I'm more interested in the outfield. I understand the goalkeeper's an important position, and with Ruddy not signing his contract, I thought we're definitely going to need to sign someone, unless we're calling Bradley Mayo up or something like that. So, as far as keepers go, Ryan ASLOPP is not he's not a bad keeper. He certainly sings off the hymn sheet of what Knighthead want. A goalkeeper good with his feet, can play out from the back, calm and composed. I'm going to be completely honest with you, his stats aren't magnificent. And that's not me being negative, I'm just being realistic. I'm not going to slag him off. I'm so glad he's at the club, and he's a blue nose, and that means the world to us. We love having a blue nose at the club. But last season, let me just double check I've got this right. 46 games and 10 clean sheets in a whole side that were doing really well. For me, it is slightly concerning. That's not a great stat. However, some would say that Hull was overachieving, being that high up the league table anyway, and that Liam Rossigny had done an incredible job with them. I suppose Blues' thinking is, if he done well in the Championship, he's going to kill it in League One, especially if we can put a solid defence in front of him. If we can keep Christian Bielik at centre back, Lee Buchanan here and Laird there, I don't know who that other centre back's going to be, whether it'll be Sanderson or someone different. We've already probably got the strongest defence in League One, so the main priority of the keeper in a top end team in that league is going to be at the feet. We're going to be the ones that dominate possession. So maybe a shot stopper isn't the priority, as weird as that sounds, even though we're signing the keeper. You look at Edison from Man City, he don't do much. Half of us could do that. There's times, that Real Madrid game in the Champions League final, I didn't see Edison. There was all down at Madrid's half, do you know what I mean? Obviously we've seen him when Madrid put the goals past him. But do you know what I mean? I think that's what they're thinking. We're going to have majority possession. The times when they do have a shot on target, you'd like them that our defence have forced an awkward angle or something. Yes, we're going to concede. Do you know what I mean? If we concede first game, you can't look at him and go, God, what a terrible signing. Unless he has an absolute stink, you'd be a little bit concerned. We're going to concede, but overall, I think I'm happy with the signing. I think it points to the direction of what the Blues board are thinking and what Chris Davies is thinking. That's important, I didn't mention him. This is obviously the style of football that he likes to play, possession with a purpose. When we've got the two centre-backs there, if we're going to play like the top teams do, and this is something that I actually kind of have a problem with. Me and my dad talked about it the other day, funnily enough. In the England squad, the centre-backs have the most touches. I like it when the midfielders have the ball, but whatever, in just being pedantic. If we're going to have the two centre-backs here, and they're going to be picking the passes to the full-backs or over into the midfield, you want that safety net of the keeper that you can pass the ball back. And he's not going to hoof it long, and we're going to have to fight for possession at the other end. You just want him to calmly lay it off to one of the full-backs, good to go, start again. And I think that's what the board are thinking. They weren't necessarily thinking, we're going to be getting slapped up this season, so we need a keeper that's 6'5" and he's going to save everything. So, I agree with the signing. I'm happy with it. I'm glad he's a blue nose. It's always the cherry on the cake, innit? Because you always feel like you get that extra 10%. I'm not sure how that translates into a goalkeeper's 10%. But, if you've got an outfielder that's a blue nose, when it's a cold January night and you need a win in the last 5 minutes and need a goal, it's usually your own. the Blue Noses that will put in that, run their legs into the ground and see what they can do for you. So that's always nice to have. It kind of like I can't stand this bloke, and he always seems to come up. A bit like what John McGinn does for Villa. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure if he's a Villa fan, but he plays like he's a Villa fan. Do you know what I mean? Just runs himself into the ground and does the dirty shit work that the other players that are there for a payback you don't necessarily want to do. So yeah, I'm happy. It's not going to be a super long video today. I just wanted to put my thoughts out there, get your thoughts and opinions. Are you excited? Is there someone you had your eyes on? I've got to be honest, there's no one I had my eyes on, to be honest. If I wouldn't have minded keeping John Ruddy. I said before, I keep him as a leader, not necessarily a first team goalkeeper. He's probably putting off signing the contract, thinking, can I sweep a championship club? Especially with what he's done on the Fozcast. I don't know how happy the board and that are going to be with that. If he hadn't communicated that he was going to go on the Fozcast, that would have kind of irked me a little bit. Because, the idea of what happens in the dressing room stays in the dressing room. If he's got their permission and everyone's cool with it, then fine. He did say on the podcast, I'm not saying anything I wouldn't say in the dressing room, the changing room. So, maybe it's not a problem. However, it's always a risk. That's what I'm trying to say. When you have players going out and doing public interviews, talking about managers and other players. Yeah. But another thing I've just remembered is that Ryan actually played with Buchanan and Christian Bielik at Derby. So it's nice that our defence has this pre-existing chemistry. A lot of positives to be taken. We saw what eyeing up that other lad for 7 million, the striker. I forget where he's from. And while I'm not actually super familiar with the striker, if Blues are willing to start paying £7 million for players, then I'm more than happy. £7 million is like, you got to remember, we was talking 10-15 for Jay Stansfield. So if they're not going to pay that or don't feel like they could get that, then 7 million is the next logical step. That would be our record transfer. Our current one is 6 million for Ivan Zunic. So if we're willing to start paying £7 million for Tom, Dick and Harry, I'm not going to get in the ball's way. That's big money for Blues, that is. It kind of gets you excited. And I saw that us and Wrexham are in the race for the Pompey lad, the centre mid. He looks decent. And look, I'm not going to lie, I think I'd be lying to you if I said I'm super familiar with these players that we're bringing in. I'm going to be 100% real. I'm not. These are the League One players, some Championship, like the obscure names, some from the Scottish League. So I'd be lying to you if I said I was super familiar. But I'm reading between the lines, looking at the price tags. Also, another little thing. Did you notice that the professionalism of the way that the Blues team and the media team are announcing these transfers? I think it's brilliant. So they put out a little teaser tweet, and I know they've done this last season, and then the official tweet, and then you get the app, it through on the app and the stories there. The app works, the app looks clean. The links coincide with all the social media channels to get them up. I just think everything looks professional. On the surface, it looks like a top level club. Do you know what I mean? You remember back in the day when we signed a transfer and it was like, if it weren't on Sky, you don't know. And I know technology's come a bit way, but even in that crossover, it's a bit like, well, have we signed him or have we not? It hasn't been updated on the Blues app, and it hasn't been tweeted about yet. And now it's just like, it gets announced when the Blues want to announce it. I just think it looks very professional, very good. I don't know, it's just exciting little shit like that, because my whole life we haven't had it. So when I see us moving into the modern era, things like that are small indications of what's going on behind the scenes. And I keep seeing these little things at all levels. When we're talking about the women's team, the youth squad, the IT, the app, the media, the finance, the stadium, the architecture, structures, it all just starts to build like, God, we look like a proper, got our shit together professional team. It's just good to see, it's refreshing. And it just fills me with positivity every time we have some sort of contact with the Blues app or social media team. I just think it's brilliant. But that's all from me today, guys. It's nothing major. Just wanted to chuck that out there, see, get your thoughts and opinions. Any signings that come in, I'll be covering. As you know, I do work quite awkward times. So if a signing happens while I'm at work, there's not much I can do. But I will try to make a video on each individual signing, get your guys' thoughts and opinions. Yeah, keep right on, up the Blues, and hopefully I'll see you in the new season, guys. Take it easy.